May 8th will become a real holiday for the entire Catholic world, because it is today, May 8th, that the 267th Pope of Rome was elected in the Vatican. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost from the United States of America has been elected the 267th Pope of Rome, and he has already appeared on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica as the new leader for 1.4 billion Catholics from all over the world. In this episode, we will discuss together with you what is known about Cardinal Robert Prevost and why this is a special celebration for the United States of America. What name will the new Pope take? Well, let's also analyze his main statements from the welcoming speech to all the Catholics of the world. My name is Alexi Pecci. It's May 8th on the calendar. Let's go over everything step by step. Today in the Vatican, the 267th Pope of Rome was being elected, and finally the white smoke appeared. And we learned that Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost from the United States of America was elected the 267th Pope of Rome. Prevost, a 69-year-old, hails from Chicago, Illinois, United States of America. And he is the first Pope from the United States of America. So for Americans, this is really a special celebration. Right now, all American media are simply rejoicing over the fact that it is an American who will now be the Pope of Rome. He will be known as Lev XIV, a leader with global experience. He spent most of his career as a missionary in South America. And quite recently, he headed the powerful Vatican office for the appointment of bishops. He is expected to continue the reforms of Pope Francis. Well, and for 10 years he worked in Trujillo, Peru, and then was appointed Bishop of Chiclayo, another Peruvian city, where he served from 2014 to 2023. So, obviously, he spent quite a lot of time in Peru, and by the way, he even addressed the Peruvians in a separate language. Prevo also has a Peruvian passport and has been a citizen of Peru since 2015. And in an interview soon after he became the leader of the Episcopal Diocese, Prevo said, "I still consider myself a missionary. My calling, like the calling of every Christian, is to be a missionary, to proclaim the gospel wherever you are." Well, I'll briefly say something about Ukraine. So far, the new Pope has not made any direct public statements, but according to the Review, he is expected to support the Holy See's peacekeeping approach as his predecessor Francis did. In his first words as Pope, Lev addressed the crowd in St. Peter's Square with the words, "Peace be with you all," and then continued with his speech. This is the first greeting of the risen Christ, the Good Shepherd, who gave his life for God. And I would like this greeting of peace to enter our hearts and our families.
Brothers and sisters, dear brothers and sisters, this is the first greeting of Christ resurrected, the Good Shepherd who gave his life for the Lord. And I would also like this greeting of peace to come into your heart and join your families and join everyone, whoever they are, all peoples and the whole earth, peace.
I would note that Lev XIV looked clearly excited when he waved his hand to the enthusiastic crowd in St. Peter's Square. And obviously he was, of course, nervous. And it is known that after he was elected, he asked for some time alone to calm down a little. Addressing the crowd gathered in St. Peter's Square, Pope Lev paid tribute to the late Pope Francis, calling on those present to remember the legacy of his predecessor. Quote, "Let us keep in our ears the gentle voice of Pope Francis, who blesses Rome, the Pope who blessed Rome, who gave his blessing to the whole world on that Easter morning." Allow me to continue this blessing. God loves us. God loves everyone. This evil will never prevail. It's interesting that he said this in Italian, addressing the crowd gathered in the Vatican. Well, and then in his speech, Papa Lev thanked his fellow cardinals for choosing him as the head of the Catholic Church. Quote, "I would also like to thank all my brother cardinals who chose me as the successor of Peter, and so that I may walk with you as one united church, always striving for peace and justice, seeking to work with men and women who are faithful to Jesus Christ without fear, to proclaim the gospel, to be missionaries." After this, having spoken so far in Italian, Lev suddenly switched to Spanish. And not just by chance. This is one of several European languages he speaks, but in fact he switched to Spanish. in order, as he put it, to address his favorite diocese in Peru, where, as we know, he was a missionary for quite a long time. Cardinal Robert Prevost, as he was called until this hour, worked in Trujillo, Peru for 10 years and served as a bishop. Chiclayo is a Peruvian city from 2014 to 2023. Well, and then already in Spanish. He says, to my dearest and most beloved diocese in Peru, where the faithful accompanied their bishop to share their faith with him, and who have done so much to be a faithful church, lived and called on the Catholic Church to become a synodal church, one that moves forward, always seeks peace, and stands with those who suffer. Pope Lev outlined his vision of the Catholic Church as a church that builds bridges and engages in dialogue, quoting, "We must strive together to become a missionary church, a church that builds bridges and engages in dialogue." According to the English translation, the new Pope also called on people to, quote, "show mercy to others and engage in dialogue with love." Well, and next I'll add a little information about Robert Prevost, now Pope Lev, and share Donald Trump's reaction to the election of an American as the new Pope of Rome. Why is this important? Because the day before, when Trump was asked who he would like to see as the new Pope of Rome, he first sarcastically said himself, but then added that it would be nice if it were specifically an American. And now we get the first American, the Pope of Rome. So, Robert Prevost, now Pope Lev, was born in Chicago, Illinois in 1955. Prevost received a bachelor's degree in mathematics from Villanova University in Pennsylvania, and then a diploma in theology from the Catholic Theological Union in Chicago. Later, he was sent to Rome to study canon law at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas and was ordained a priest in June 1982. In his career, he taught canon law at the Trujillo, Peru Seminary. Although it is often said that the cardinal electors always refrain from choosing a pope from the United States because of America's enormous political influence in the world, Prevost's many years of experience in Peru may have eased this concern among the electors. That is, it is possible that the conclave chose him precisely because of his long service in Peru. Basically, he is someone who, even though he is from America, will be very attentive to the needs of the universal church. And it should be understood that we are talking about a person who spent more than half of his church career abroad as a missionary in Peru. In addition, it should be added that in Vatican circles, he is considered a suitable leader since he is able to achieve results without being authoritarian in his actions. Prevost is someone who is considered an exceptional leader, and from a very early age he was appointed to leadership positions. He is considered a calm and balanced person, impartial and very clear about what, in his opinion, needs to be done. But he is not too persistent in his attempts to achieve this, so he is both a determined and a rather gentle person. Interestingly, Donald Trump has already reacted to the fact that the new Pope is specifically an American. And so President Donald Trump welcomed the news that the College of Cardinals had elected its first American Pope, Cardinal Robert Prevost from Chicago, calling this news a great honor for our country. As Donald Trump stated, and here is his quote, "Congratulations to Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who has just been elected Pope. It is such an honor to realize that he is the first American Pope. What excitement and what a great honor for our country. I am looking forward to meeting Pope Lev. This will be a very significant moment." Therefore, it can be noted that for the United States of America, as well as for the entire Catholic world, this is truly a special celebration. Because, in addition to the fact that a new Pope of Rome was elected, he is also an American, the first American ever to hold the position of Pope of Rome. Let's see what statements the new Pope of Rome will make regarding Russia's war against Ukraine. As soon as they appear, we will definitely discuss this topic with you. Well, for now, I'll put an ellipsis in this story because it's just beginning. And your opinion, your conclusions about the new Pope of Rome, please write them in the comments under this episode. And friends, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and don't forget to leave a like. That's all. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.
Peace, justice, and always trying to work as men and women who believe in Jesus Christ without fear and to be heard.